This is a popcorn, and I am eating popcorn. Oh, wait a minute. Gotta mute that damn delay. That cure delay. Hey everybody, it's old Roger D on Channel Donstar. I don't know where I'm at. I'm hoping hey LJ, man, happy birthday early to you, my friend. My pleasure. No need to reciprocate. That's what happens when you have popcorn. Replicate, whatever. You breathe in, you get down the wrong pipe. Hey, Blu-ray madness. Okay. This is going to be a quickie. I'm going to do like LJ Draco. Everybody, go over. I'll say this at the end when I have more viewers. But everybody go to LJ Draco. He's a great guy from the UK who does great movie reviews, especially 3D Blu-ray reviews. Cough. Cut the frickin' kernel. The kernel, not the chicken kernel, the popcorn kernel in my gullet here. Everybody go down to, wait, this is going to be interesting. Spitting all over me. Movie mouth. Hey guys. All right. I shouldn't have taken a popcorn when I started this and breathed it in. Breathed it in, breathed it in, sucked it in, breathed it in. I don't like using suck. And I got a little the kernel. Bring the kernel home tonight. Anyway, it's Sunday night, and I wasn't going to go on. And oh, wait, I was saying, everybody go to LJ Draco's channel. It's just like that. LJ space DRAC apostrophe S movie channel. Oh, frickin' frack. Now I know, don't eat. What's going on? Okay, felt like that one came through. Felt like I loosened it up. I'm going to talk slow. No, it's still there. It's right down here. So, right off the bat, forgive any weird noises, and oh, I could moot. Excuse the gargling. Gargling of a tasty beverage. All right. Next thing, number 2. Oh, I got it. Cool. I got it. Next thing, if I crap out, if everything just goes blank and you see a still image or whatever, that means my computer crashed. I got the blue screen of death. Everything shut down. And it takes me about 5 to possibly 10 minutes before it all comes back. And then I'm able to restart all this stuff. So if it does happen, I'm only going to do it twice. And I got my little clock here. It is 6:20 in the evening in Chicago, in Illinois, Midwest, and that's in the PM on a Sunday. I'm going to do like LJ Draco. That's the reason I brought it up. Is he only does these he only does these live chats for an hour, and I think that's a great idea. I also think I'm going to ask people for a topic. So next week or the next time when I go online live like this, we'll have a topic that we could all talk about, and it just won't be all crazy random. But tonight, this will be all crazy random for tonight. And I'm glad I got that kernel out of my throat. I love KFC, though. I love bringing the kernel home. Those drumsticks and breasts. And that mashed potatoes and gravy and corn on the cob and coleslaw. I love it. Love it more than Popeyes. Anyway, how's all? Thanks, Roger. Movie Mouth. LJ. No, looking forward. Have you seen the Ray Harryhausen box set in the UK? I have every Ray Harryhausen movie right now, thanks to all of them that came out, especially the final two that I've been waiting for through Twilight Time, Valley of Gwangi and Three Worlds of Gulliver, and I believe 1 Million Years BC was brought out by another company. But I have all the Ray Harryhausen films. I also have that fantastic documentary from the UK, because it was released like a year before they even released it here in the US. Big Harryhausen fan. Love every single frickin' film he's ever done, the poor man. I know when he was aging up there, I met him. I rode an elevator with him, got his autograph on a few things, and I knew he wasn't, after Clash, going to be able to do any other animation. But my God, what a wonderful, wonderful collection of films he created, along with all the other directors and Charles H. Sneer and all the other producers. The first three are classics. Are you talking about, wait a minute, have you seen Harry? Movie Mouth, are you talking about Harryhausen, or are you talking about Indiana Jones? Harryhausen, the first three, you'd have to count Mighty Joe Young in there if you're doing that. If you're talking about the Indiana Jones, yeah, all the three are great. Crystal Skull, it's just great because Harrison's back. You know, it's. I got problems with Crystal Skull, and we can go into that in another thing. Got the first Harryhausen set, and the two others being released first on pre-order. Great. Small Soldiers. Yes, LJ, Small Soldiers. I've been waiting. If you watched my defending, I complained about that. And then there was another video I did where I complained about that not being released. I'm so glad it's right now on the way to me. It's in the post. Electric Dreams. I've been waiting to see a beautiful remaster of that film from the 80s that you, LJ, used the theme to in your ending credits, I believe. But Electric Dreams is this wonderful, wonderful love story about a boy, a girl, and a computer. And that's all I'll say, but it's beautifully shot for its time. You know, 80s was such a big thing for me. And I'm so glad Electric Dreams is coming out. But Small Soldiers, I'm a big, again, if you watch my videos, you know I'm a big, gigantic Joe Dante fan. I don't think there is one Joe Dante film I don't like. Even The Hole, the one that was only released in 3D in the UK. I think we only got a 2D version here in the US. It should be seen in 3D. It helps the movie so much. It's not one of his best movies, but the 3D really, really enhances The Hole by Joe Dante. But I love all his stuff, and I'm so glad Small Soldiers. I'm going to be hanging on to my DVD, though, because the DVD is, man, there's hours and hours of extras on that DVD. And I'm hoping, they haven't gave out the specs yet, but I'm hoping that all those extras are going to be ported over to the UK Blu-ray. I kind of doubt it, but I even have one of the little toys. What do I have? Do I have, I have one of the little toys that talks. Oh, it's the, Check Every Outhouse, Dollhouse, Bob, the guy from The Fugitive, Tommy Lee Jones character. I got one of his toys. It's about a 12-inch, and you press it, and he says all the comments. Small Soldier is very underrated. Most Joe Dante stuff is underrated. Love Matinee. Gosh, I love all his early stuff. Inner Space. Oh, Inner Space. It's just so great. But anyway, so I'm glad that's finally getting a UK release. I will be importing that. I won't be waiting for a UK. Twins is coming out in Germany. Yeah, what the hell happened to Twins? You think it's a Schwarzenegger film. Why hasn't that been released in the US? I mean, Jason and the Argonauts. Oh my God, I have so many stories about Jason. One of these, either a live stream or when I get my movie editing thing going here, I could tell you stories about Jason. Man, I even wrote a parody movie that I started filming on Super 8 with my friends down the block, all of us, you know, pre-teenagers. It was called Son of Jason and His Argonauts. And I still have the script, and I have a lot of stuff shot that I would love to show everybody. It's so bad. It is so bad. But I think the script is, someone told me that I didn't, one of my friends who read it years and years and years later when we were in our 30s, he read it and he says, you didn't write this, you got this from Mad Magazine. And I was like, prove it. Show me where Mad Magazine did a parody of Jason and the Argonauts. No, I wrote the damn thing. Instead of the golden fleece, he was looking for the magic fuzzy green slipper. That's what he was looking for. Because in the 70s, fuzzy slippers were the big thing. And he lost one, so he went on his quest for the magic fuzzy green slipper. It was horrible. It was so cheesy and stupid. But I could do like an hour or two video all about that. Jason and the Argonauts, how much I loved it, how I won a $10 bet about Titan with the clashing rocks. You know, he's like, oh no, he held him like this. I'm like, no, he held one arm out straight and one like this. And he's like, no, he didn't. And then I showed him that I had the Super 8 in black and white. I had the Super 8 in color. Anyway, we're talking Jason the Argonauts. Why am I doing that? Indy. Oh, yeah, Indy. The first three are fantastic. Yeah. Although the third one, I have issues with the green screen outlines, you know, like when they're on the dirigible, the blimp. And there are some matte lines that, I mean, they went back to the original Indy, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and they got rid of the reflection of the Cobra when he falls in the pit. And there's all these snakes, and there's the Cobra. You used to see the reflection on the glass because there was a glass between Harrison Ford and the Cobra, a live Cobra. They erased that, but they should have went in Last Crusade and kind of erased those matte lines and made them look a little more realistic, but they didn't. Oh, well. But yeah, much better than Crystal Skull. Much better. Arthur recommended it to me, so I'm glad. Explorers needs a Blu-ray. Yes. Yes. I wonder if it is River Phoenix that is holding that up. I wonder, are there other River Phoenix movies released since his passing? Or, well, on Blu-ray anyway. Maybe the estate is holding that up. I don't know. Maybe that song at the end that the alien sings and dances to is copywritten where they can't get it, and that's what's holding it up. I don't know. Small Soldiers, yeah, I was on the UK. I liked the whole, but I hated the end twist. Yeah, I loved it being ghost, but not subconscious. I thought it was kind of creepy the way the ghost was moving around quick and you know. But LJ, did you see it in 3D? Do you have the 3D version? Just kind of curious. 12 chip and Archer. LJ, I don't know what you're saying there. I have a 12-inch chip and Archer. Don't know what you mean by that. Have you seen the Librarian trilogy? No, I have not, LJ. I remember The Glass in the Pit of the Snakes. Yes, that's gone. If you get any version now of I got the original. I just watched Raiders because I sent it to LJ and I was like, I haven't seen these movies in a few years. Time for a rewatch. Spielberg, man. I grew up, I was a teenager during the 80s when all those classic Jaws, Close Encounters, Indiana Jones, Star Wars, all that stuff was coming out. It was such an amazing, amazing time. The original Terminators later in the 80s. And just watching early Spielberg is brilliant, is amazing. E.T., gosh, so much great stuff he did. And what was the last thing I seen of his was Big Friendly Monster, which I imported in 3D from the UK. And I enjoyed it. I thought it was great, but I don't care for his serious stuff, Munich and Amistad. And although Color Purple, I loved Color Purple. But yeah, there are some of his later stuff, and everybody grows up. You can't do big blockbusters, fantasy stuff. Jurassic Parks are great, but my God, what a great time! What a fantastic time to be a kid growing up with all those movies. Blu-ray Madness. Hey, thanks for joining us. My 3D collection is getting bigger every Blu-ray update I do. Yes, it is. Didn't know about the glass thing with the Cobra. Yeah, if you ever have a VHS, Laserdisc, early DVD release of Raiders of the Lost Ark, as soon as he hits the ground and there's that Cobra, that you could see the reflection of the Cobra in the glass because there's a glass between Harrison Ford and a real Cobra. And they erased that reflection in all these other versions that come up. Yeah, RoboCop, I believe, was late 80s. I'll buy that for $1. I had the whole in 3D. It's amazing. The girl ghost on the toilets was freaking, yes. 12 chip and Archer toys from Small. Yes, the Small Soldiers, the 12 chip. Yeah, okay, I know what you're talking about. LJ, favorite character, favorite, oh, they're not troglodytes. What are they called? Oh, I should know this. Favorite character. Mine is the one with the eye. Mine is the one with the eye that bounces. Just a goofy question. Oh, right off the bat, for any of those new people that are joining, I got only 4 people watching, but that's cool. If my camera goes out, if my computer crashes and I get the blue screen of death, and all of a sudden my live telecast just ends, I will come back one more time. I forgot when I started. All right, we started at 7. 8 o'clock, I'm cutting it out. Just kind of hang on, keep an eye out. I'm going to come back again. It's 7 o'clock now. I forgot, but it's a nice round number. So at 8 o'clock, I'm done. I'm going to be saying goodbye. So if the computer dies, I will be coming back just to make the full hour. Sorry. I got a disc coming. I got to reinstall Windows, do all that stuff. Yeah, RoboCop 87, possibly. Yes, great. Man, R-rated 80s movies, man. You can't do that stuff today, man. The Murphy getting shot the hell up, you can't show that in movies now. They'd censor the hell out of that, or and then getting hit by the car and the just melting away. Yeah, movie mouth. Spielberg got a little soft there, and the last time it was released at the theaters, I believe, he changed all those rifles and guns to walkie-talkies, and I think there was a couple other little changes he made in that, but that's why I'm kind of glad with the Blu-ray release, because just like with his Close Encounters, which I believe has 3 versions of the film, he does have that edited version with the walkie-talkies, but he does have the original version on that disc set too. Gorgonites, thank you. Yeah, that's it. Gorgonites. I love that movie. Small Soldiers is great. Oh, it's so many. It's like the reunite see that this is a thing of an old timer like me. In the 70s, there was a movie called The Dirty Dozen, and what Joe Dante did was he got all the surviving members, Bruce Dern, Ernest Borgnine, from The Dirty Dozen, to come and do the voices of the military toys. And that was like an inside type thing that new viewers, younger viewers, wouldn't get. And that's another reason why I love that thing so much. I only have the Blu-ray, might YouTube it. Gorgonites, Archer is my favorite. Oh, Archer, okay. I hated the RoboCop. I never saw it. You know, when a remake comes out, I have not seen Total Recall. I have not seen RoboCop. I have not seen Rollerball, because I love those originals so much that I don't even want to tarnish them. I don't even want to have a fleeting memory of those bad remakes. Now, if something comes out and everybody starts saying, oh, it's really good, you know, like Dawn of the Dead, which when that came out, I was refusing to see that because I love the 78, 79 version. But everybody was saying it was good, and I saw it, and it was good. I was there during The Fly. I was there during The Thing. I saw all those in the theaters when they came out. But you're talking old movies from the 50s, you know, and The Fly was the 60s. So, yeah, you want to check it out. But when you got something as good as Rollerball or RoboCop, I don't need to see another. Total Recall is great enough, although the eyes bugging out at the end is kind of unbelievable. But it's a fantasy, right? We could talk about that, but I think that was all in the mind. But so I have no desire to see any of the remakes that come out. Joel Kinnaman from New RoboCop and Suicide Squad just feels like a plain actor. He has no emotion. Don't know. Although if he was in Suicide Squad, yeah, I didn't care for that either. So maybe I know who you're talking about. Didn't even bother with remakes of RoboCop or Total. Yeah, movie mouth. Blu-ray Madness. I love Dirty Dozen. Great Blu-ray release with the TV sequel. Yes, that was great, and I got it, of course. LJ agrees with me on something because there's a delay. The Alamo remake from 26. I have not seen the Alamo remake. Who directed that? Who's in that? Madness. The Fly, when it calls out, help me, is awesome. Yes, check out my go back in my I don't know where it is, but it's one of my videos where I do a comparison. It was one of those contests where it's remake or original, and I talk about the Fly films. And even though I picked out Cronenberg's Fly as being the better one, I gush all over the original Vincent Price one. David Hedison, Al Hedison. That Help Me is so haunting, especially when you were a 6, 7-year-old kid and you saw that on late night television. That sticks with you, that type of stuff. So glad I got the kernel out. So glad I finished the chicken. The rolls are good too. Don't like the extra crispy. Give me the original with those 7 herbs and spices anytime. LJ, got a little, just a tiny little, as I was talking through this, I started thinking, because I watched your last couple of live broadcasts. Since you don't have, like I don't, the questions on the screen, there's a couple times where you're like, oh yeah, that was it, and we don't know what question you're answering. And I don't know if you notice, I'm trying to do that by reading out the questions and then answering them. I'm not criticizing you. I'm just saying maybe you should do that until you get the questions up on the screen again. Just so we, the viewers watching it later, know what you're answering. By the way, Roger, thank you very much for the Yeah, Harlock Space Pirate. Um, dude, I'm a avid reader every day. One of my favorite sites I go to every single day is Blu-ray.com, and I belong to the forums. Most people go there to see what's announced and what's being released and stuff like that, like the Terminator with the big hand and all that, which is great, but I'm not paying for that either, LJ. But if you go to the forums, go to the 3D Blu-ray forum, and they talk about all the new releases. That's where I find out where, like, RoboCop, I believe, is available. The remake is available in 3D in Japan, and I think you can import that. And plus, all these other Japan movies or movies from China that are made there are released in 3D, and you can import them. But that's where I heard about Harlock. I knew nothing about it, but everybody was praising it there. There's actually a link, an actual thread on that forum saying what movies have the best pop-outs, what movies have the best, are best for demonstration to show your friends. And that's where I came across Harlock. I knew nothing about it. And then doing research, found out it was kind of like an anime type thing, I guess. And I just bought it on a whim. And yeah, I love it. I mean, I love space battles, and that's the first one in 3D that I actually really enjoyed watching, not knowing anything about. The Alamo was Billy Bob. The Alamo. Did I say Alamo or Animal? Alamo was Billy Bob Thornton, who I like. Patrick Wilson, John Lee Hancock, 2004. Wow, I never heard of the Alamo remake. I might have to look that up because I love both Patrick Wilson and Billy Bob. I think they're great. I agree. I need to start doing, LJ says, I need to start doing that. I'm just upset as I love the app. I was now using what I have to use this new one, and I'm still not used to it yet. We'll try starting to do that. Yeah, that just a suggestion. Just like now, I read your question, so I can answer it, and those viewers can hear what I'm answering. Oh my God, I want to find the new RoboCop 3D just to see what it's like. I hear it's a bad conversion, LJ. I hear it's not that. That's why I have not imported it yet. I hear it's not the best conversion. There are quite a few, especially through Germany, that you hear about, and then again, Blu-ray.com, they say, oh, it's like using your 3D TV to do the conversion thing, and it gives you that weird, automatic thing that is not real 3D. RoboCop was not shot in 3D, so it's going to look that weird way. It isn't going to be like Cameron, who takes every ounce of ingenuity. You were talking about Cameron the other day. Titanic, you didn't mention too much, but I thought that conversion was pretty damn fantastic. And of course, Avatar. Can't wait for T2. I'm surprised it's being that limited to one play at one theater in certain cities. I remember when Blade Runner, the director's cut, came out, minus the narration, with the inclusion of the unicorn scene. I saw it downtown in Chicago. It was only playing one night, just like Terminator, at one theater, and it was jam-packed. If you didn't get there early, you didn't see it. So I'm surprised they do that, especially with Terminator 2, because it's such a well-loved movie, even though it's gimmick. We know what you're talking about, gimmick. 3D is not a gimmick. 3D is an experience. But at least give it a week. at least give it a week. Let people find it and see it, and let some word of mouth spread on, you need to see this again on the big screen, because most people who love those movies didn't see it on the big screen. And it would be so great to see T2 again like that. So yeah, it's such a shame that it's only going to be playing like at one theater at one time in only certain cities. Let me go back here. Okay, I saw that. RoboCop. Can we get some love for Turtle Tales? Oh, LJ, I told you about Turtle Tail 2. I love Sammy too, man. That damn seahorse coming out of the screen with the two electric eels in the background is just, like I said, I love the second one way better than the first one. They're both fantastic for 3D presentation. I even like the second movie's story better than the first one. It's less eco, if you know what I mean. But the underwater club and that, and them being trapped, and some of that blowfish just comes right out at you. And I freaking love the Turtles Tale 2 movie. If you're a 3D fan and have a 3D set and a 3D Blu-ray player, get the Turtle Tale movies. 2014 Ninja Turtles on Netflix, and I loved it. I love the humor. Need to get 3D. I mentioned this recently somewhere. I was never a Turtle fan. I never watched them in the 80s. In the 80s, I was a teenager, and I was out there getting and doing. So I wasn't watching cartoons anymore. Usually when I was flipping channels, if I was home on a Saturday morning, I'd stop on a Warner Brothers, Bugs Bunny, Tweety Bird, Sylvester, Roadrunner, because those are the ones I grew up on, Bugs Bunny. But I never watched Turtles, and I never watched any of the, Secret of the Ooze and those ones that Corey Feldman and those other actors did. The 80s, I believe it was in the 80s or 90s, where they were in those big rubber costumes. But I did see the very first Turtles movie, and I bought it because it was 3D, and I was buying everything in 3D years ago. And I freaking loved it because I did not know the origin. And I understand from the Turtle fans that there was a lot of backflack because of that, because it didn't follow the story. It didn't follow the cartoon series, which I hear the second movie does more, which I have yet to see. I have not seen that. I have not picked it up yet. So I only have the first one in my collection, and all I can say is demo material is that truck going down the hill at the end. That final action scene is not the final, because they're on the top of the building, but the scene where they're going down the snow-covered mountain with the truck is fantastic in 3D. Fantastic. Even though, LJ, you always mentioned the 2.35 to 1 compared to the full screen. I wish it was full screen. I also think T2 is going to be totally full screen. He did that with Titanic. He open matted it. So I really think we're going to see T2 3D open matte full screen. And I believe there's no words yet on the Blu-ray release, but I believe that's how it's going to be released. I'm kind of disappointed it's not the extended version of T2, because I really, really like the little bits that they added in there. The dog scene and seeing the T1000 jittery, freaking out, with the electric and the jitteriness. But if all we have is a theatrical version, then I'm still happy with it, as long as it's going to be 3D and full frame. So yeah. Okay. What are some of the 3D Blu-rays to stay away from? Oh, I, Robot, um, Jumper, um, wow, Charlie, what's the Peanuts? Peanuts? I was so disappointed with the Peanuts because and I think I said this in one of my IMO reviews for Peanuts that I still have my original ViewMaster. If you don't know what a ViewMaster is, it's this weird little contraption that you put these discs in, and you were able to see still images that were 3D. And they had during the 60s, the big 3D boom of the 60s. They had photographers go on movie sets or television sets like the Munsters or Batman or from the 60s, and they took photos and they were actually in 3D, and you were able to just look at these. I think there was a total of maybe 27 stills through 3 discs. And there was a group of them. They had actually had clay figures. So you had another old cartoon nobody knows, Huckleberry Hound or Bugs Bunny or Charlie Brown, and they were these like clay figures. Think of Nightmare Before Christmas, how they look like, or Coraline, how they look like 3-dimensional clay figures. And they did a Charlie Brown one, and it looked amazing. And when Peanuts came out, I was like, oh, this is going to be fantastic because they're going to make it look like that, but we're going to have motion and we're going to have the story. And it's very flat. It doesn't protrude the screen like I really wanted it. So that's one I'd have to say to stay away from. LJ, let me pass it over to you. Any 3D movies to stay away from due to bad 3D technology? My God, Blu-ray and Madness. Yes, the new Turtles in 3D. I want to see the new one. Can't wait to check it out. Cameron is a 3D legend. Yes, he is, LJ. I'm only 18. I love. You still got to get the deep sea one where he goes down to the bottom of the sea in that I told you about it. You still got to get that, and then you'll have all the Cameron 3D stuff. 18, I love Terminator movies, but can't wait to see it on the big screen and on 3D. I have seen a replay of Casablanca, though, which I love. This could be a whole topic later, but I don't care for Casablanca. I don't care for it. Sorry. That's me. And I'm an old fogey who loves old movies. Just don't care for Casablanca. 3D will never be a gimmick. In some movies, it's art. We need some 3D to enjoy what filmmakers are trying to show. LJ says, yeah, LJ, there again, and I've said this, I'm sure, in my 3D defending movies videos, that if you have a certain director, when you look through the camera as a filmmaker, and I don't want to go into this because I went to film class and all that, but there is an experience happening when you're on the set and you're filming actors, and you actually block them in a certain type of tableau where you're in the front, you're in the background. Think of Spielberg's movies. Okay, here, perfect example. Jurassic Park, the very opening of Jurassic, when they're trying to catch the Velociraptor in the cage thing. There's a shot where the camera is on one guy and he backs up, and the guy is here, and then another guy is here, and then another guy is here, and then another guy is here. And as the camera backs up, you see this depth between all these different characters, and all of a sudden the screen is like stretched, and it's almost like you're right there on the set looking at these actors, and they're one right after the other behind each other, and you see that depth. Spielberg is perfect for that. That's why I mentioned just about every single Spielberg movie could be converted into 3D and work beautifully, work perfectly. Raiders, I just watched Raiders tonight, and there's so much depth in there that not popping out. The ghosts at the end, yeah, could be coming out and everything, and the sparks when there's the bar fight, you know, of the guns, the sparks could be coming out. But there's so much fantastic depth that his eye sees when he's shooting these films. And when you see him on a flat screen, they're fantastic, especially on a big screen. When you see Indy on a big screen with the giant shadow, and Marion is little tiny and she sees the shadow and knows it's Indy behind her, it's amazing. But in 3D, can you imagine she's right here in the foreground and the wall is in the background, and here's this giant shadow. It adds so much more when you're on the set. And I'm sure there are a lot of directors that when they're on the set, they see that distance because they block certain scenes out. 3D is it's very good if it's done well. You see movies like the what's the Matt Damon movies, the Bourne films, Bourne Identity, where it's cut, and there's super fast. There's a giant close-up of a person, and you just kind of see the shadow or a blurred shadow, and then it cuts to the other person, and they're super close. And that isn't 3D filmmaking. That's just like boom, boom, boom. But when you have a real technician who understands the frame and the composition of the way the frame works and the foreground, you know, the person could be walking, the camera's panning, and then they stop over here and there's a lamp right here. And in 3D, it's like, whoa, there's this lamp and it's right here, but I'm seeing the guy way down there. You know, Hitchcock does it a lot too. Spielberg, Lucas, I don't know about Lucas. I'd have to really think about Star Wars again, but I think American Graffiti might have some really nice 3D stuff in it. But anyway, man, I went off on a rant. I'm sorry about that, guys. Sorry. Not so underage. I mean, not so old collector. JV, mine was 3 nights ago. JV, yeah, I just caught up on all your stuff, your Stalker Girl and your other live telecasts. Yeah, that was pretty. Everybody, I always say this, JVTV. He's in the chat. J space VTV. Just you know. He needs some more subscribers. What do you got? 300, 280, something like that? I don't know. He's great. Only seen in Desolation when the wasp comes out of the screen in the barn. Yeah. Blu-ray Madness, thank you. I did 2 top 10. You must purchase. JVTV. Only thing I want to see in 3 is an old lady sagging. I see is all I'll say. Don't ask my preference. Well, you know, those old lady strippers are out there, Jay. Those old lady hookers, you know. You work in a porn shop, you have total access to that stuff. In 2D visual, or you could just get on the phone. You're downtown Chicago. Come on. Patriots Day. Did not see it. Blu-ray Madness. Want to see it. Was that Matt Damon or Marky Mark? Not sure. But yeah, there's a lot of movies that pass me by, and I don't go to movies anymore, and I don't buy a lot anymore. So I have not seen that yet. I just got Colossal. I just watched Raiders of the Lost Ark again. Um, and I was going to put on Colossal, and I was like, frick, I got time. Okay. Let me go on live and just talk. It's Sunday night, and I got Colossal. I hear the trailer made me laugh and made me interested, so I don't know how that's going to be, but I'm planning on watching that after this live telecast, this live piss stream, Jay. Oh, my uncle used to go on about this type of stuff. We had him drowned by some poor... I can't say that, Jay. My channel's clean, man. 300 STDs. That's... When are we going to a whorehouse together? Dude, are there chubby chasers out there? Are there are there girls that like fat men? I don't know. Marky Mark. Okay, Marky Mark was in the bombing movie, which I have not seen. Marky Mark. I can't think of Mark Wahlberg. I just call him Marky Mark because I grew up listening to his goofy music with the boys, you know. Let's hear it for the boys. No, not those boys. So anyway, I have another half hour here, and my computer is still running. It hasn't crapped out on me. So why don't I ask you this, viewers? How many viewers do I have? 6. Wow, I'm a famous guy. I have 6 viewers. Next week, when and if I come on for an hour-long stream, what is a good topic we could all talk about, as opposed to just being this random thing we're doing now? Give me some suggestions. What would be kind of a cool topic? And I think at least until I get my editing equipment done and I can start doing my reviews again and things like that with titles, because I hate this crap where I can't put titles or thumbnails up. What would be a good topic to talk about for about an hour where all of you could join in and we could just chat about it? So give me some suggestions. Blu-ray Madness, go to in 15 minutes Game of Thrones. Oh, I'm sorry, folks. Tonight is Game of Thrones. So if it's on now, I'm sorry. And that you're here and not there. Also, Sharknado 5 is on probably now, and I'm sorry that you're not watching Sharknado 5, because I know everybody wants to see that, especially me. I love the frickin' Sharknado movies, although I'm going to watch it tomorrow after I download it. I never watch anything live because I can't stand frickin' commercials. Can't stand. Same with Game of Thrones. I have all the episodes ready to go. I'm waiting until the final episode airs, and I'm going to mainline them all, just like I'm doing with Twin Peaks. I have all the episodes saved, and then when the series comes to an end, I'm going to mainline them one right after the other. Maybe watch 2-3 episodes a night, and because I hate waiting a week. I did that with Breaking Bad, and that was murderous. So that final 2 seasons, that 6 and 6 season of Breaking Bad that they split up, I did not watch, and I turned everything off. And then when it was all done, I mainlined and watched all of them, one back to back to back to back. That's the only way to watch this crap. I hate commercials, man. I so freaking hate them. German fat porn. Fart porn. That's what you want to talk about? Gosh, I saw on was it PornTube or whatever? Man, there's some really sick stuff out there. There is some really, really sick perversionists, fetishes out there that I just click off. Remakes versus originals, or Bogart movies, since you love Casablanca. My favorite Bogart movie is Key Largo. I'll tell you right there. And then, well, it's a Woody Allen movie. It's not a Bogart movie, but it has something to do with Bogart. No, but Key Largo is my favorite Bogey movie. Treasure, African Queen. If I have to pick, yeah, those are my three. Those are my three favorites. I like Bogey kind of nice, but cranky. I like Bogey evil. And man, Eddie G. Robinson in Key Largo just cracks me up, and his drunken wife or girlfriend in Key Largo is is amazing. Or annoy Dennis and do 3D topic. No, I'll do why I hate steel books to annoy Dennis. Why do I hate steel books? An hour live stream just for Dennis. Old movies that don't hold up, not so underage says. Old movies that don't. That might be a good one. That might be actually a really good topic. Yeah, maybe. 3D topic. LJ, I could talk 3D for hours, man. I can redo my defending my collection and go through every single 3D movie and talk about every single one. I don't want to do that. LJ says, I'm still saying Yu-Gi-Oh! Bonds Beyond Time is the best 3D I have ever seen. I know it's very expensive, but still awesome. You know, LG, I looked for that movie. I can't find it anywhere on sale. Or just, I mean, other than being way over 30 pounds. I don't know why. Maybe it's out of print, but I cannot find a decent price on that. Although I just finally, the very first season, that Christopher Eccleston season of Doctor Who came down to 12 pounds, and I can afford that. So that's the only one I need. I got my docs up there, and I bought the first 3 seasons. I didn't get the Eccleston season, but the other ones that came out in the UK I got for that same price, 12 pounds. So I'm going to be ordering that, but just so I can have all the new Who. New Who. But I can't find a Yu-Gi-Oh one, man. I can't find a good deal on it anywhere, and I don't want to spend. You talked about this in one of your last streams about spending big bucks for certain movies, and yeah, I had to laugh because you guys are so young. Back in the 90s, the big thing was laser discs, and so many times I bought like Alien or T2 for $100 because that was what they cost. They came in this box set, and they were laser discs. They were like albums, 12-inch, huge discs, giant CDs that went in this machine. And if you wanted the best quality, you paid $75 to $100, and I had no problem. Here, take my money. I want the best version of this movie. The Abyss, the uncut version of The Abyss, True Lies. But yeah, now it's I'm holding back on the reins. I just can't. I can't do that. All right. Did you watch the Westworld TV show? Yes, and I loved it. I just asked a friend earlier today when I was at work when the next season's coming out. And he says they're still working on getting everything together. It might be another year, which is good because they could really refine that script, that story. I loved the Westworld television series. I love the original 73 movie with Yul Brynner. Richard Benjamin and not Josh Brolin, James Brolin, his dad. I love that movie. And Future World, yeah, Peter Fonda. I like that too. Saw those both at the theater. Great movies. Had my popcorn ready. You know, Porn Tube is awesome. Cake farts are real. No, never looked those up, Jay. Slasher cinema, sexist or not? Definitely sexist, man. But slasher cinema would be kind of cool to go through. And those obscure slasher films, not your Freddy, not your Jason, not your Scream, but not your Chainsaw, but like these very obscure movies like Nightmare or Three on a Meat Hook or Schoolgirls in Chains. You know, stuff like that would be kind of cool to talk about. These obscure slasher films that nobody's talked about. Argento would be a great talk. I could talk Argento for an hour if you guys know any of his stuff. Speaking of slasher stuff, but yeah, good suggestion, Jay. Hey, you said something good there. No, you always say something good. I love Treasure too, my second fave. What's your first fave, Blu-ray Madness? Is it Casablanca? Well, I remember Star Trek Beyond. I was pretty disappointing in 3D. You know, I kind of agree. I thought the very first Star Trek movie had better 3D than Beyond did. But that's just me too. You know, it wasn't fantastic. Either one of them wasn't great. I mean, it was all depth, and it was 2.35 to 1. You know, please redo it. Blu-ray Madness, what are you talking about? Please redo what? LJ, yes, Beyond was so bad compared to Into Darkness. Really? See, now I'm. Wait a minute. Star Trek Into Darkness. Which was the first one? Beyond was the first one, right? No, Beyond was the second one. I don't know. Correct me down below. I don't know. I thought the first one had better 3D. Not the one with Khan. Movie Mouth. Or even films that have gotten better with age. Carpenter's The Thing got panned. I was there watching The Thing in a movie theater with 3 people, 2 of my friends and 1 other guy, and we freaking loved The Thing. Streets of Fire, obscure little film, came out, I believe, the same week as Ghostbusters, and everybody went and saw Ghostbusters. I saw Streets of Fire, loved the frickin' thing out of it. Another Time, Another Place. Walter Hill, big Walter Hill fan. Another director I really like. I don't know if I ever talked about. Comes up as a standard Blu-ray, but it's actually 3D, LJ says. I know you like Hammer. Yes, Hammer films. Any of you young guys watch Hammer films? And I'm not talking about Hammer Time. Jay, you mentioned in your video you used to wear Hammer pants? Hammer Time pants? I used to wear parachute pants, okay? So I'm not going to bust your balls that much. If you're still here, Jay, you were saying you were in those big baggy, and lifters used to do that in the 80s. They had those big baggy pants. My wife, when I was married at the time, made me a pair of pants. I felt like a clown because they were all like yellow and red, and they had all these weird designs on them, but they were really super baggy, and that was the style of the 80s. Oh my God, that was horrible. Yeah, Hammer films, love them. I'm going through this. There's a lot of questions, so I'm going to take a while before I get there. Yu-Gi-Oh, by the way. LJ, yeah, you mentioned that. Blu-ray Madness. I know you like Hammer Mill movies well. The Hammer Show is being released as a UK as a box set. Yeah, the Hammer Show I'm not too interested in, mainly because the Hammer movies is what I grew up watching. And I'm getting the Vincent Price collection sets. I wish I had the first one. I was so pissed off that I missed out getting the very first Vincent Price collection because it had Mask of the Red Death. It had all these other great movies on there. But I have the collection 2, collection 3, and I'll keep buying them. Maybe someday I'll find collection 1 at a good price. But I love the Hammer films. I love all the Dracula, Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee, all the Terry, what's his name? The director, not Terry Hatch, not Terry Fisher. Terry Fisher? Terrence Fisher. Anyway, hi, Raj. How's the blues? Hey, dude, thanks for stopping by. I'm only going to be on probably for another 15 minutes or so. I'm doing the LG thing where I'm only on for an hour. Wizard of Oz in 3D. Wow, for a 1930. BJ Swarner, sorry for mispronouncing that. BJ Swarner. Yes, Wizard of Oz is amazing. That is a fantastic conversion. That the way they worked out the flat painted sets in the background with the hills and then separated them was genius. I thought it was, yes, if you have a 3D set and you're a 3D fan, get Wizard of Oz. 1939. The first track doesn't have 3D Into Darkness. The second and third one were in 3D. You're right. 3D was beyond the third, and you said you would redo 3D collection. Yeah. Casablanca's your #1 Bogart. Blu-ray Madness. Yeah. Yeah, so it was the second one, Beyond, that I actually thought had better 3D than the last one. Although, maybe I'm wrong. I only saw the last one. Oh, that was the one with the white and black aliens. I need to rewatch that. Maybe I need to just rewatch it again. I only saw it once, and it might have been a busy weekend, and I don't remember it much. Blu-ray Madness watches Hammer films. That's great. Expand your mind. Watch some great stuff. Curse of the Mummy tonight. Oh, Curse of the Mummy's Tomb, Movie Mouth. Isn't that what it's called? Curse of the Mummy's Tomb? Wait a minute. Oh, crap. I hate this. My leg is hurting again. Anyway, yeah, The Mummy. Yes, redo your 3D collection. No, I don't want to go through all that again, LJ. Come on. You know, I only have 10 minutes. Let me take a... Malik! Hey, Malik! Nice for stopping by. Thanks for stopping by. I got to get something. I want to put the air on because I'm really dying here. Give me 30 seconds. Give me 30 seconds. I'll be right back. Look at that. It wasn't even 30 seconds. Yeah, I don't want to get into it, but my leg wound is healing, and it's doing some things that, again, I don't want to get into. Can you see the blood? No, you can't see the blood. Anyway, we won't get into that. Malik, yeah, thanks for joining me, man. Hey, Tomb of the Mummy's Dead, or Curse of the Mummy's Tomb. Blu-ray Madness. I'll watch about anything classic. I've been watching Abbott and Costello. You know, I love Laurel and Hardy. Watch the old Laurel and Hardy movies. Those things are, they blow Abbott and Costello away. I'm sorry. I mean, the Abbott and Costello characters are great because they did those monster movies, which are fantastic, being on the monster set collections. You can watch Abbott and Costello Meet the Mummy and Frankenstein and all those others. Man, if you're looking for old timey comedy, watch the Marx Brothers. Watch Laurel and Hardy. Brings Abbott and Costello down. Abbott and Costello is an odd cookie because Costello was such a child, and Bud Abbott was just like a bastard. He was always slapping him around and yelling at him, and of course he's the straight man, but there was a weird equalness that wasn't there. Whereas Stan Laurel and Oliver Hardy, Oliver always thought of himself as smarter than Stanley. Stanley always kind of pulled the rug out of Ollie, but Ollie was just as dumb and possibly even dumber than Stanley at a lot of times. And the Marx Brothers, forget it. That is a style of comedy, and those movies they did, the Marx Brothers movies, are so freaking amazing and clever and fast and smart that you don't see in anything now. You got Seth Rogen and all these other comics out there, and they're doing gross out humor, but there's no smart thinking to the humor. The closest I can think, and this is a weird comparison, but the closest I can think to smart writing with humor very close to that would be the Office television show. Even though that's like a cringy type of comedy, at least it's cleverly written out. Anyway, boy. Charlie Chaplin, of course. We can go into the silent stuff. Harold Lloyd, Buster Keaton. Come on, Buster Keaton, man. There'd be no Jackie Chan if it wasn't for Buster Keaton. And I'm talking classic Jackie Chan, not Shanghai Night, Shanghai Noon, Rush Hour. That's not Jackie Chan. That's I'm American persona. No, watch the old Jackie Chan, Drunken Master, Project X. Watch that stuff, and you'll see the humor. God, amazing. I love that guy. Blu-ray Madness says, not a big fan of Laurel and Hardy. Sorry, haha. And love the Universal Monsters. I have the UK box set and love the Costello crossover. Yeah, the UK box set of the Universal Monster movies was super cheap. In fact, that's the one I bought. It's on the shelf because the US version was like ridiculously expensive. And I don't know why, but Madness, watch my collection video and you'll see all my classics. Will do. LJ says, I'll check them out, Blu-ray. Movie Mouth says, love that style of comedy. Watched a lot when I was little. Also became hooked on the 50s sci-fi, like Earth versus Flying Saucers and Them. Earth versus Flying Saucers, we brought up Ray Harryhausen earlier. And yeah, B-movie science fiction films I grew up watching when I was in my pre-teens to early and late teens, and I still watch them. In fact, I just bought, like months ago, this big old sci-fi monster collection, Wasp Woman, Attack of the Giant Leeches, things like that. I mean, I love those old bad sci-fi monster movies. I love War of the Colossal Beast, Them, Tarantula. I love all that crap. And if you're familiar with my channel, you know I do. So, folks, according to my little ticky on the wall, it is 7:55. I have 5 more minutes, and then I'm going to cut this stream off. I'm so happy it didn't cut off for me. And, oh, Forbidden Planet, of course. Hey, Blu-ray Madness, let me ask you. This is a weird question. Did you find out about Forbidden Planet because of the movie Halloween by John Carpenter? Because he shows a scene, the kids are watching that and the original thing in John Carpenter's Halloween. Is that how you found out about it? Or did you hear about it because it was a classic and you needed to see it? The Id Monster. Great stuff, great stuff. The Blob. Good old Steve McQueen. Yes, The Blob. And Beware the Blob, which who knew it was going to be coming out on Blu-ray, on Blob-ray. Beware the Blob, that goofy comedy sequel done by Larry Hagman. Major Nelson from I Dream of Jeannie directed that, and Burgess Meredith is in it, and a whole bunch of other really bad 70s actors. It's such a weird, goofy guy. Godfrey Cambridge, who's this black African-American actor that was big in the 70s. He did a movie before Eddie Murphy did a skit on SNL where he was in white person's makeup and he went out in public just to see how different it would be to be a white man compared to a black man. There's an actor called Godfrey Cambridge from the 60s, 70s that did a movie called Watermelon Man where he wakes up white. He's a black guy, African American, he wakes up white, and the whole movie he's trying to figure out why he's white. And it's the same thing. And of course, it's not released anywhere. You can't get it anywhere. It's too politically incorrect. You know, we're lucky we got Chatterbox about the talking vagina, you know, and the singing vagina that becomes famous. We're lucky we got that. And Flesh Gordon, but no Watermelon Man. Watermelon Man. Oh, my uncle showed it to me. Sorry, I have not seen Halloween. Well, you have not? Blu-ray Madness, you haven't seen Carpenter's Halloween? Get the F out of here. What the hell's wrong with you? Come on, go to Amazon, buy it right now, man. There's like 100 versions of it out there. 1988 reboot of The Blob. Yes, I thought that was great too. Really great effects. One of those great remakes, like The Fly, Dawn of the Dead, The Thing. The Blob fits right in there. This Island Earth appears in Dante's Explorers. Yes, Dante is a huge 50s side. Oh, Dante is a big genre fan in general. I mean, geez, he always uses, oh gosh, the guy from Little Shop of Horrors and all those other movies. Oh, God, why can't I think of his name? Somebody tell me his name before we cut off tonight. LJ says, I found out about Forbidden Planet due to we have a big statue of the robot in our museum. Really, Robbie? You got Robbie in your museum? Game of Thrones coming on soon. We'll watch next time. And yourself a favor and watch Alamo. Blu-ray Madness, yes, I'm ending it. It's 8 o'clock. Perfect. Glad I didn't pull anybody away from game. Let's end it right now. Everybody go watch Game of Thrones. I think there's only 2 more episodes. This is the one that leaked that I haven't watched, but I'm sure a lot of people have. And then there's 1 more after. And then we got to wait a whole nother year for them to wrap up the entire series. So I'm glad this worked out at a time where I didn't take anything. And I'm sure those that don't like Game of Thrones can go over and watch Sharknado 5. Dick Miller, thank you. Movie Mouth, Dick Miller, yes. He's like in every one of his movies. So is the other guy from Star Trek, Next Generation. Anyway, hey everybody, old Roger D from Channel Donstar. Thanks for joining me on my live stream. Take care, and thanks for your gaga in the gift. LJ, enjoy. I really hope you enjoy the movies. I can't wait to see all your reviews on each one of them, good or bad, and I hope you enjoy them. Everybody, thanks for tuning in, And we got a couple topics, but we'll see what we're going to talk about next week. I like doing this, talking to you guys. It's all live. So we will talk to everybody next week. Let me check out these real quick feeding. For the record, I have seen Halloween Night from the UK. Movie Mouth, good night, UK, or good morning. LJ, everybody. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see everybody in the next stream. All right. Bye, everybody.